From CAR TV, this is your monthly market update with President Randy Durham.
Hello, I'm Randy Durham, President of the Chattanooga Association of Realtors, here to talk to you today about our latest market statistics for June of 2010. The local real estate market continues to challenge both national sales trends and the pundits' conventional wisdom, according to statistics released today, in both number of homes sold and median price. This is according to the data that we released by the Multiple Listing Service of Chattanooga today. In June of this year, Southeast Tennessee and the Northwest Georgia area saw the sales of 637 residential units. That's a 1.4% increase compared to the previous month's sale in May and a 12.7% rise over June of last year. NAR's chief economist Lawrence Young noted that the home buyer's tax credit has broadly stabilized home prices. He said that without the tax credit, there will be more aggressive price negotiations between buyers and sellers. The key test on whether the housing market can stand on its own without stimulus medicine will depend critically on the private sector job creation in the second half of the year. We'll also keep a close eye on the market conditions of the Gulf Coast. Many observers believe that a prolonged crisis due to the oil spill could eventually affect other areas economically. Our industry is satisfied and relieved that Congress passed legislation extending the tax credit beyond its original expiration date and allowing to finalize closings on existing contracts. At best, it generally takes about 60 days to close on a home after a contract is offered, but so many of these transactions, nationally and locally, require much more time due to a variety of circumstances, usually complicated by added documentation required by lenders in certain types of sales. The additional period from now to the end of September should be adequate time for most buyers to get the home closed that they want. Chattanooga area MLS President Bobby Teams and I are still very concerned, however, about the jobs picture. Unemployment, especially long-term, almost chronic unemployment, has stayed at levels that would have been considered disastrous only a few years ago. And although our metro area has witnessed an encouraging decrease down to 8.7%, that's still over 22,000 people looking for jobs and not finding them. We need to find solutions that don't involve throwing good money after bad and increasing taxes on people who are struggling to feed and shelter their families. Many of those in the most recent statistics were surely census jobs, which have now ended, and the economy isn't creating jobs at the pace that they would materially help anyone. At our association, we monitor the opinions of many of the nation's top economists and thinkers and are glad to share their thoughts with you. Scott Brown, chief economist for Raymond James & Associates, sees a circular cause and effect for the nation's economic woes. He notes the low consumer confidence impacts spending and, in turn, employment growth. However, he believes that a double-dip recession is unlikely, as well as a need for further stimulus spending. Mark Zandi of Moody'sEconomy.com tends to agree in most aspects. He believes that the economic recovery is losing momentum. Retailing, housing, manufacturing, and mostly importantly, the jobs market have weakened in the recent weeks. Real GDP, which grew 4% annualized during the second half of 2009, has slowed to nearly 3% during the first half of this year and is expected to approach 2.5% during the second half. This rate is below the economy's potential, and unemployment is expected to drift back up into the double digits. With unemployment so high and policymakers increasingly perplexed over how to respond, the risks to recovery are rising again. The odds of a double-dip recession in the next 6 to 12 months remain far less than even, but are uncomfortably high. June was a month of record lows for long-term interest rates, according to Freddie Mac. Many consider this a sign that investors are seeking safe investments in an economy that continues to appear turbulent. For the month of June, the local median home price was $130,000. That represents a statistically negligible decrease of 0.4% from last month and a decline of 4.4% from the median price reported in June 2009. I think that our median price statistically points out the argument we made to the Chattanooga City Council in their deliberations on the increase in property taxes. It's very hard to make a sensible case for increasing taxes in an environment where homeowners and business owners are witnessing a decline, at least at this moment, in the values of their properties. We had hoped the council would have looked at the larger picture, but unfortunately they did not. In terms of the number of average days on the market of the local market, June 2010 saw a small decrease of 2 days over figures from this point this past May, and 19 days from the same period of the last year. If you have any questions about our report or of our association, don't hesitate to contact us at 698-8001. We're always glad to talk with you about real estate. This is Randy Durham from the Chattanooga Association of Realtors saying thank you for your interest.